Good afternoon, everybody. Today, let us discuss the concept of Indian semantics. So, what is the definition of semantics? So, the definition of semantikos is a Greek word derived from sema. It means sign, and going back to the Indo-European dei, it means to see. So, which is paralleled by via dhyanam. It means introspection or to see. So, this is the definition of semantics, the study of meaning. So originally, if you look at the dictionary meaning of semantics, it means the study of meaning of a sentence is what is called semantics. Semantics is nothing but is closely related to study of meaning. So it is a scientific study of a meaning. So India, the study of meaning in India, especially the semantics in India, India has occupied the highest position in the field of semantics. The following statement of a Mr. Professor B. Emmanuel may prove the source of encouragement and inspiration from India to many. He says, certainly in one other slowly awakening department of linguistics that is concerned with the meaning, the West still has to learn from India. Their grammarians, their theoreticians, and philosophers were all concerned with the problems of meaning, and much was thought and much was written on this subject of meaning. So this is what B, Professor Emmanuel Kano viewed, and he placed Indian linguistics in a great place. And the Vyakarana and semantics. The Sanskrit term Vyakarana means grammar, which dissolves words into elements. We call them stems and suffixes, and thereby bringing out their exact meanings is in itself is an indication that grammar, etymology, and semantics are closely or intimately interconnected. So, you can say Vyakarana and semantics both are interconnected, and the grammar is a set of rules of sentence construction. And if you look at the deeper meaning from Indian perspective, when the word is divided or when the word is dissolved into various parts, stems, roots, and suffixes and affixes, and bringing out the exact meanings, which means it is the indication that semantics, grammar, and etymology are closely, intimately interconnected. The ancient Indian scholars recognized eight methods of learning of meanings of words. The first method is what is called Vyakarana, grammar. The second method is what is called Lokya Vyahara. It means popular usage. The third method is Apatvakya. It means direct statement of trustworthy. The fourth one is called Upamana. It means analogy. The fifth one Kosa. It means lexicon. The sixth one Vakya Sesa. It means the rest of the passage on the context. And Vivriti explanation, and Siddhapada and Sanidhyaya. It means syntactic connection with the words already known. So these are the eight ways the ancient Indian scholars or linguists and grammarians, they propounded eight ways, they devised eight ways to learn the meanings of words. And grammar and grammarian. Grammar explains what a correct sentence is. Semantics tell us the full significance of a sentence with all its implications. And Vakya Govind, one who knows the connection and usage of words, and Shabda Sastra that deals with the grammar and also deals with how closely semantics and grammar are closely related. And among the stalwarts of Indian linguists and grammar, we may recount the names of great Indian linguists called Shakatayana, Yaska, Paunini, Katyayana, Patanjali, and Bhartrhari. So these are the great famous Indian linguistic philosophers. The etymology of Vedic word and formation. The study of meaning in India connected with the attempts to give the etymology of Vedic texts. And during the period of Brahmins, etymological explanation of Vedic words had made sufficient. Scholars like Yaska, who belonged to 8th century, and Panini, who belonged to 6th century, expounded the scientific treatise on scientific etymology and grammar. Yesko declares that every word has some set of meaning. And Shakatanya, he declares that all nouns originate from verb root. And Mimamsa and Nyaya schools of philosophy also discuss also and Buddha school also discuss the nature and meaning of words and the nature and meaning of words and nature and meaning of sentences. According to Patanjali, a word can convey four types of meanings. A word can convey four types. What are those four types? The first type is jati, it means universal. Second one is dravya, it means object. Third one is guna, quality. Fourth one is kriya, action. Bhartrhari, a very famous Indian linguist scholar, his work on Vakya Padya is a major Indian work on grammar and semantics. He created some of the contextual factors that determine the meaning. Bhartrhari recorded 14 contextual factors in determining the sense in doubtful cases. The first contextual factor that determines the meaning is samsarga. It means the close connection of an individual with an object. The second one is what is called vipraga. It means separation of contrasted with samsarga. The third one is sahacharya. It means association and company. The fourth one is virodita. It means enmity and contrary and dissimilarity. The fifth one is called ardha. It means purpose. Sixth one is prakarana, context, linga, gender. So the eighth one is sannidhi. It means proximity with other words. The ninth one is samardhya. It means capability. Tenth one is acuity, propriety. And 11th one is desha. It means a place where a particular word uttered. And kala, the time factor, vyakti, person, swara, accent. So he created and he found 14 contextual factors to determine the meaning. And he also created two aspects of meaning. Bhartrhari developed the idea of twofold meaning. When a word is uttered, it reveals two types of meanings, its phonic form and an object for which it stands. And he also talks about the sole purpose of his speech. He says the sole purpose of a speech is to help someone to express his own self. The word is the only medium of expression and its reception. Therefore, it is desired for self expression, which becomes the basic criterion for ascertaining the unit of speech or the semantic minimum. So, these are the concepts of Indian semantics. Thank you.